Hello, my name is Shulamit, and I'm the creator of the MetaSounds process. Every Sunday at noon, I host a Zoom meeting for us to explore wisdom teachings and experience the healing power of MetaSounds. These meetings are made possible by generous donors. Please help this site thrive by liking and subscribing, and please join our newsletter at greatoctave.com to receive notices of our events. Today, I would like to talk to you about identity. We are conceived as a result of a meeting of a single sperm and an egg. Each carries its own genetic material, which colors a lot of our lives. But in a sense, it's also random, which egg, which sperm. And then we're born, and we're born with need for food and for shelter and for warmth and for love. And we pursue that, all the while acquiring information and experience. We learn who we are, our race, our ethnicity, our religious identity, our community, our nation, and our own dreams. Do we want to become like our parents? Or do we want to leave that environment and go explore the world and do more than what they did? Experience, education, genetics, all these begin to shape an idea of who we are. An idea that we repeat to ourselves over and over again in the course of our lives. It's our definition. It both strengthens us because it's important to identify and to belong to something, and it also limits us because in our desire to be part of something, for example, a community, a tribe, or whatever, we may adapt all their coloration, all their attitudes, all their opinions, even if it isn't something that we completely believe in. And if we should step out of that for any reason, we might be condemned by our group and placed outside the circle of its protection. As we acquire the strength that comes from our youth and our growing up and our physicality and our mental abilities, as we acquire our strength, as we begin to know what we want to do in the world, as we begin to accept maybe the pressures of society which direct us in a different point than we might like from an ideal standpoint, we begin to get confused about who we are. We think we are the product of our lives. We think we are what we produce. We think we are what our status is. We think we are what our admirers think we are. So we're not only looking to project a certain image of ourselves, we're also looking to attract a certain respect or admiration or acceptance from the outside world. And this is quite fickle. The opinions of others are quite fickle. So we build a life, we build a story. If we are so-called successful, we can inhabit that, feel the respect of our peers, enjoy the pleasures of the accumulation of wealth and comfort, and just the pleasures of friendship and so on. And we might begin to believe that we are the creator of our lives completely, that we're completely in control of what happens to us, and that our identity is what makes us strong and secure. But everything that we have can be taken away. We are, after all, born with nothing and end with nothing. We don't know where we came from, and we don't know where we're going. It's just this small space in between where we can, for a period of time, be sure of ourselves and say, I am this, I am from this religion and this faith and this, group of people, and I'm strong and I can do whatever I want. I'm in a superior position. But as I said before, everything can be taken away. And in fact, where the first part of life is typically the accumulation of goods and skills and loves and children and whatever. And the second half is usually about loss of career, loss of loved ones, and so on. And this can happen even in a so-called normal or successful life. For example, an athlete works for years to get really, really, really good, but then is aged out at a certain point and is no longer able to do the thing that he or she trained for so many years with so much diligence and excellence. And for others, it's like you build your business or your career, and it takes a lot of work, and then at some point it loses its taste, and you have to move on to something else, and you have to give up the thing that you built because it just doesn't satisfy you anymore. So we're in a constant state of flux, like nature. Nature is periods of abundance and periods of drought, periods of flowering and periods of dying off. We are living in that, whether we like it or not, and are subject to the same laws. If you find that you've come to rely too much on what you've acquired and how you look and physically and where you stand in society, you will be very sorely tested when you begin to lose some of those things through accident or mismanagement, or just something that's happening collectively. You don't necessarily have any control over it. And that's when you begin to notice that it might be worthwhile to wake up to the fact that there's something deeper in you than the clothes that you wear, than your identifiers to yourself and other people, which is really completely malleable. It can be changed and is changed frequently. And for those who cling after the change has occurred, there's a kind of deadening, a lack of life force, a lack of resilience, a lack of joy, and so on. So what is it? What is it that you can do? What can be done? Just don't get confused. You have days, you have weeks, you have months, you have years when you're very powerful in the sense that you're doing well at what you've, worked for, that you have the respect of your community, that you have healthy relatives and so on, or people that you love. But there's also times when things don't go so well for you, when you're not on top of the world. The truth is we're much more humble than we think, despite what our ego tells us. We're much more humble. And a recognition of that, and a gratitude for what we do have, and a lack of confusion about what brings real joy is something that we can really strive for. So where is that place? Where is that place where you can feel a deeper connection to something that is not transient, like power or beauty or wealth, but something that is eternal, some force that we can connect to that is eternal? Not that we are eternal in the sense of living forever, although there are people working on that. I'm not so sure they're going to do so well, but but in the sense that there is a place inside you that connects to something much deeper, much greater, a greater force that you can't see or name or really understand. And if you can connect that with that, and it's inside you, it's not in some mysterious place hidden somewhere, it's inside you, then you can go through times of plenty and times of drought with a degree of grace and calm and sometimes even joy. And it's something that carries you through your entire life, even to the point of death and beyond, when you understand that you are part of something greater, that you stand between the past and the future, that you're here right now, and that, yes, you are whatever you want to describe yourself. You went to what college, you have this kind of skill, you're, or this kind of trade school, this kind of ability, and so on. You can say all those things, but you all know deep inside you that there's something more that you're grasping for, something more that you hope for, something that makes this voyage in this world not so lonely and difficult, something that satisfies you on a very profound level. So where is that place? That place is inside you. And we have all these clothes that we put on that identify ourselves, coats and shirts and pants and dresses and etc. You've got to remove these sources of identity. You don't have to get rid of them. You just have to become not attached to them. They exist. They can give pleasure. They can give protection. All of that is very good. Just don't get fooled. It's not a permanent thing. It's not going to carry you through life gracefully. It's not going to bring you joy. It's going to bring you happiness from time to time for sure. But it's not going to be completing you, which is, I think, what we're all aiming for. We look for completion. And that can be found through learning how to observe yourself, to be honest about your true motivations, to know yourself. And by undertaking a technique, a meditative technique that will help you, your mind quiet so that you can actually feel this abundant universe that surrounds you and supports you. Feel it, not hear about it, not read about it in a book, but actually feel it. And you have to practice these things long enough so that you can sustain this belief that it's not just a passing fancy. It's not just a glimpse, but it's an actual force that directs you every single day and allows you to go through good times and bad times, and certainly through uncertain times, which is what we're living through now. So I'm going to make a few sounds to you as part of the sound meditation, which has the gift of silencing your mind, connecting you to allow this connection to the abundant reality without requiring you to, like sit for 40 minutes or whatever. It's a different way of approaching it. So here we go. Relax. Feet on the floor, close your eyes if you want to, and just listen to the sounds. Thank you for joining me today and being part of our community. I invite you to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Time for the full live experience. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit greatoctave.com for more details about these webcasts, our newsletter, donations, and more.